Hello and welcome to the Core Show. This is our 22nd episode. We are so happy. Thank you all for joining today. I'm Ranjit Kaur from the UK, and here with me is my co-host Gorinda Kaur from Melbourne. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Benji, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good as well. How strange it is, like 22nd episode on 22nd November. Coincident.
Yes. No, it's been we've had a good shows. I like our shows so far, and it's 22 weeks of them, so it's been amazing. Maharaj Kirpa. But yes, another show today, and today we have a great topic. It's Guru Nanak, the Saviour of the world, and we will be speaking to Taren Kaur from the UK, who is actually local to me in Coventry. So, but we never ever meet. But yeah, she's a great inspiration here for the young generation, especially. And she is a singer songwriter from the UK, inspired by the rich history of music, deep poetic writings, and the universal teachings of oneness from the Sikh faith. So I think she's amazing. I do see her on when she's on live and streaming, she's really good. So I think we should get our guest on and find out more about her.
Sure, why not? Here we bring her.
Hey Taren, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Great. It's 9 a.m. and it's early, right?
It's a little bit. But we're all right.
Yes. So Taren, tell us and the audience a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So as you mentioned just a few seconds ago, I'm a singer-songwriter and Kirtan Singer based in Coventry in the UK. For those who don't know where Coventry is, it's a small city just right bang in the middle of the UK. And yeah, so I've just spent all my life from childhood singing and enjoying music, and then I decided that I wanted to share that with the world and to do that full time. So that's just a little bit about me.
Awesome. And so what is your background? Like, what got you into music? Where did it all start from?
I've always grown up with music because my dad's done Kirtan ever since he was a child. So he was about 3 years old when he started learning Kirtan from my Buaji. And so from that base, then he taught that to us. He gave us that kind of musical home. And so I grew up around music, listening to music, and I suppose you can say shankasi. So I always had that passion for music and just wanted to continue it forward.
It's really amazing, Taren. Like at a young age, you're writing songs, and I think we would like to know more about this. You're a songwriter, your own compositions, and you're singing, and and the variety of singing that you do, like in English as well, like Kirtan singing with a guitar. So a lot of youth actually eye upon you, and they see you as a role model as well. And so tell us something more. I think more details about this.
Yeah, sure. So I started off by singing in English, writing English songs. Again, it was just a hobby. I just thought it was fun, and the guitar was an instrument that appealed to me from a young age. So it always looked very cool. It's always something that you would see, especially I think in that time in the 90s, the kind of pop music on TV, that was the kind of popular instrument of choice that you would see everywhere you go. So I really thought, oh, this is a really cool instrument. It sounds really nice. And so I asked my parents for a guitar, and they bought me one for Christmas one year. And from there, I just started just playing and teaching myself just little bits. I had a really old book which I used to just use and try to kind of follow what's the book, what the book is saying, and Holly kept teaching myself. Then eventually the internet came along, and I was able to use the internet to find out information. And from there, I began writing English songs, and at some point, the feeling of connecting Kirtan and connecting my kind of Western knowledge of music and the Western instrument came about. And I started to finesse that, I suppose you could say, and just connect the two together, because I enjoyed the guitar side of things. I enjoyed the Western, I suppose, musical side of things, as
Yeah.
well as the Indian side of things. And I wanted to be able to experience both and do both. And so fuse it together. And so I did just that. I just kept trying, kept experimenting, and put it together. And I suppose it worked. It was something that I enjoyed. So I just decided to share that.
And you never even thought like this hobby will sometime become like a full-time role? Is that what were you sort of expecting something like that?
I didn't actually. When I started first playing guitar, I didn't expect it to be something that I would love so much, and I would be glued. I used to have a guitar like every like room or somewhere in the house that was very easily accessible. Because I was just obsessed with playing. Even if I would watch the TV, or even at night time, there'd be, ideas, melodies that would come in my head. I'd just kind of get up in the dark and just record something on my phone and just kind of get that idea down. I wouldn't be able to sleep if I had that still going on. I'd be awake until I did that. So I didn't expect for it to be a full-time career or a full-time profession. Eventually, when I kind of got a bit more serious about it, because I loved it so much, I was only a teenager, but I was saying, I would love to be a full-time musician, a full-time singer. And I suppose when you have a passion for something, it never really goes away, and you can either fuel it more, or you can try to push it back, but it will still keep coming. You'll still have that feeling in your heart that I really love this thing, or I really love doing this. And for me, from a young age, I always thought, like the saying goes, do something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. If you do something you love, you'll be happy. I know it's not the case for a lot of people. I know that, there's responsibilities and the way that life sometimes twists and turns. It maybe isn't always that way straight away, but I think it's important. If you have a passion for something, you should definitely try to incorporate it into your life.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is with Sikh colouring too, with the passion and your drawing. And then at night time, if I've got something in my mind, I have to go and get a pen and paper, sketch it down, and then tomorrow do it on Illustrator. So when you're talking about passion and then it drives you, I definitely relate to that. And I think you don't expect it to roll into something. It kind of just happens naturally.
Yeah,
it goes in that direction. So that's really good that you've mentioned that, because I think a lot of people don't find that passion. It just, find a career and then get a job, and then it's just systematic. It's not really following what you actually love. But yeah, so with what's happened with COVID now and with your music, how has that affected you? Or because we would normally meet at Trafalgar Square in London and meet there, but this year obviously it had to be cancelled. So have you done everything online, or has it been very different?
I'm definitely missing the Sangat, that's for sure. I didn't fully realize how much of an impact it would have on me. And because generally pretty much every weekend, and weekdays as well, often we'd be doing Kirtan, or going to different events to sing and to share the music, to share the Kirtan. And so at the beginning, it was like, okay, I can have a break, actually, because I've been touring and traveling so much that I often actually say I'm barely in Coventry. I'm barely at home, because I'll be here for maybe a couple of weeks and then I'll be going somewhere else. Or even if I'm in the UK, I'll be traveling to different places. So sometimes I think, okay, well, at the beginning I was like, all right, well, I suppose I can have, a few weeks off. I'm sure it'll be over soon. It's not going to take that long for this virus to go away. It'll be fine. And then it got a bit longer and it got a bit longer. And I was like, I really, really miss going out and joining with the Sangat, because it's such an incredible experience when you sit in the Sangat and to be able to join with everyone, to meet everyone, to sing together. There's nothing like it. I can't compare anything to that. So I've been missing that a lot, and I at the beginning of lockdown, for the last, I don't know how many months it's been now, 6, 8 months
Eight
probably.
months nearly.
So for the first maybe 4 or 5 months, we were doing different live kirtans, different live sessions online, just virtual streaming, using Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, all different types of things, just to connect to the Sangat. And I think it's great that we have the internet. I'm very thankful actually that in this day and age we have this pandemic going on, but we still have a way to stay connected. So I'm really, really grateful for that. So yes, just using online resources and just spending time recording in the studio at home.
Yeah. No, I think this was just a very incredible time for everyone, and some people definitely use this as an opportunity to do something they couldn't have done, and always looking for time. So, Tern, you just mentioned about your passion and also your motivation regarding your singing and also your family, contribution in that. And also talking about your poetic writings and this kind of stuff you have been writing, your own, poetry. What inspires that, and what motivates you to write as well? And when you write, what do you actually want to write?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's various things. The writing process for me changes. It's different depending on what I'm writing about. So often the words or the lyrics will just come. I always say it's like divine intervention. The words, they come to me at the most random times. I'll be cooking food, or I'll be walking, or somewhere else, and I'll get an idea of some words, some lyrics, and I'll quickly jot them down into my phone. And if I'm at home, then I'll go straight to the guitar and I'll just pour out all these words. It's it's often something that I don't have to even think about so deeply sometimes. It's a very divine kind of moment, a very kind of blissful experience, just these words coming out. And I suppose for me it's a way of my feelings, my faith, whatever kind of I'm maybe thinking about in that general time. It comes out in lyric form, song form, or as you said, poetic form. So a lot of times that's how it happens. I won't really be planning it. It's just sometimes like a line will come into my head, and I'll be like, oh, that's interesting, and I'll go and write the rest of it, and it'll just pour out. And sometimes, if there's perhaps something going on, maybe like I write a lot about social issues as well. Then again, it's the feeling that will come, and I'll be playing the guitar and I'll kind of write a few things. But my favorite time is when it just comes naturally and I don't have to kind of push. Sometimes it's good to push for ideas and to push ourselves and to get those interesting things out. But yeah, I think it's definitely a blessing for sure.
Yes, again, I totally relate. It's like when people say in Christmas, Jad Sahib Zadeh, come on, write a book, and it's like it doesn't come to me like that. It's got to come to me when I feel it and when I relate.
Sure.
And maybe it'd be nearer the time because that's when you start reading Sakis at home. But it's the same with music, I think, where when you feel it and you're connected, and then you have all those emotions that it can be easily poured on a paper than it is, or on your guitar in this case, than it is with, just having to force yourself to start looking into a topic, for example. So yeah, that's exactly how I feel when I do the same thing. So it's really good that you can relate. So I wanted to ask you about collaboration. So you do a lot of collaboration as well, like you do with I'm 1313. You do a share charity as well.
Yes, that was, I think, at the beginning. They were all collaborating on a project together. So yeah, I can't remember which one. Forgive me for that, but there was a project we did together with that charity as well. Yes.
Yeah. So what's it like when you're collaborating with others? How does that feel?
It's good. It's good. I mean, it's different. Obviously, every person you collaborate with, they bring different ideas. They have different thoughts. So it's interesting to work with others. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's the creative process. I always enjoy the creative process. It's always interesting to see other people's ideas, bounce those ideas, and I suppose you come out with something different to maybe what you were doing alone, because obviously you have your own thoughts, and somebody else goes, "Hey, why didn't you try this?" or "What
Mm.
about this?" or "How I've got this great idea," and then it kind of blossoms and it grows. So yeah, it's always interesting to work with different people and to be in the
Do
studio with different people.
do they provide you the scripts of what they want you singing, or is it something again you would come up with yourself?
In the case of I Am 1313, they wrote the songs, and we would kind of develop them in the studio, go over the melodies, things like the guitar recording bits, um, changing lyrics, just again, just fixing things up, and making it the best that it can be. So, for that project, yeah, we went into the studio and kind of worked on some things there, and um, yeah, so they worked on all the songs and they sent me their ideas and said, can you sing this? Can you work on this song for us? So that was enjoyable. Yeah.
That's amazing, Taren. So, Taren, you travel a lot and you have traveled to so many countries for your Kirtan projects and other singing projects as well. I know we have everyone is different, and some people are really traditional and they're still not maybe used to listening to Kirtan with guitar. It's still kind of a modern concept for them. How do you feel like accepted when you do Kirtan? What kind of response do you get from different countries? Like just an overall experience.
The response has been amazing, actually. I was
Mm.
a bit apprehensive at the beginning because I thought, like you said, the guitar is a different instrument. It's not so widely used. I mean, over the years, it has become a bit more popular, but when I started, it was only a few people who would use Western instruments. Um, so I was a little bit nervous, but the love and the support from the Sangat has just been incredible. I never really felt hugely that I was out of place. I think it's also just having that inner confidence yourself that you know you're sharing something that's good and that will hopefully connect other people to God, to Waheguru. So um, there was a few times when I'd be like, is this going to be accepted? And I'm sure that there's probably people who don't like it or don't think it's maybe something that they would use themselves for Kirtan. And I get messages or comments as well, the same as I'm sure everybody does. No matter what creative pursuit or whatever you do, there's always somebody who's going to have a different opinion. But like I said, I just focus on the message that I'm trying to share. I know that that's a good one. I know that it's not wrong to share Gurbani with the youth, with the Sangat, and if that's what connects, the next generation, then I can't really ask for more. So
Mm. You're totally right. We had Harjinder Singh Lalli here once on our show, and because he does traditional music, and he had mentioned about how his family member also has the guitar, and for him, and it was great because he just said, it doesn't matter what you use as long as it connects you to Guru Sahib. Like when you're reading Gurbani, as long as you're reading, it doesn't actually matter what form you use. So it was great to hear that from someone who does traditional music only. And that's his beliefs. But I thought it was amazing that that's the message, and I think that's how it should be. Because my daughter does the guitar and she loves it. And I remember asking you, do you teach
yeah.
children like through the through the lockdown? Do you teach kids? Because this would be a great time for you to teach them while we're at home. Yeah. So do you actually teach children, or do you teach adults as well?
At the moment, no. Because obviously I'm usually not in one place for a long time. I haven't taken that up yet, and throughout the lockdown I have been thinking many times, is it possible for me to try and do that? But I've just been busy working on projects and working on my own music myself, learning more myself, trying to make myself better. Maybe one day I will go into teaching, but I think I'm always at the place where I think I can still learn more, and I know that's the case
Mm.
for anything, that we can always get better and we can always learn more. but I always think I'm not ready to teach just yet, because
Yes.
I would like to be better myself before I then go and teach somebody else how to play.
Yeah.
One day,
And
hopefully.
yes, yeah, sure. And definitely, there is a lot of time yet, of course, and you're already doing so many like different kind of soul music. And Taran, just talking about one of your album, which was a tribute on the 550th Prakash Purab or birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, which was Guru Nanak, You Are My Soul. That was really a very soulful and heartfelt tribute. And now we have 551st birth anniversary, so Prakash Purab. It's coming up. So please tell us something about that particular album. Did you write all those and any of that composition as well, or how was
Yes.
it? Your
So
experience?
yeah, so it's a bit like Benji just said about you can't force sometimes inspiration. You have to let it come to you naturally. And I knew that the last year the Gurpurab was coming up. It was a big year. There were so many celebrations, and we were traveling and doing kirtans. There was so much going on because it was such an important and I suppose important and special year. And I wanted to release something, but again, I didn't want to force it, and there were lots of different lyrics and song ideas and shabads and things like that, um, that I composed and I'd written, but I didn't feel quite connected to specifically like this is the one that I want to share with everybody. They were all nice in their own way, but I think sometimes you just know and you feel it inside that, oh, I love this. This is the one. So again, it was just very random. I was just making lunch and I just started singing the main line, Guru Nanak, you're my hero. And I just stopped and I was like, this is something I feel. This is just something that's just come from the heart. It's natural. I'm not forcing it. I feel it inside. So I quickly ran upstairs and I grabbed the guitar and I wrote the whole song in about 5-6 minutes, and I was like, yeah, this is the one. And it was, I think, September time, and so it wasn't very long before Gurpurab, probably about 2 months, because Gurpurab was around the beginning of November, mid-November last year. And so we just worked really hard. I just started recording that day, getting all the guitar tracks down, recording the vocals, then going into the studio to record the final vocals, and then getting it produced. And we spent a month working on the video every day, just trying to get different shots, because a lot of it was shot at night time in the dark. So you have only a very small gap of time where the light is just perfect, where you'll be able to get a good shot without it being too light and too dark. So we worked super quick, super hard on that, and yeah, it was a pretty amazing experience.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to read some of the comments before it gets too long to read. So we've got Interpal Singh, who said, what a beautiful and blessed soul. It's always so pleasing to hear and listen to you. Thank you. Bajnam Kaur has said, love your Kirtan Benji. We've got Vaiguruji from Gurpreet Singh. We've got Interpal Singh, who said, such divine experience and thoughts and lyrics form. It is not that common. You are one among the most chosen ones to be so blessed. Your contribution to Sikhism is incredible. Even my daughter feels good to copy your outfit. Good to see you being an icon. That's great.
Thank you so much. That's so kind.
Agampreet Kaur has said, Benji, I am a big fan. So, and you're an inspiration for kids too. So, a big wave to them,
For
We're
sure.
very happy
Hi
to have
to
you
kids
here.
watching.
Yeah. Bajnam Kaur has asked, do you play any other instruments?
I play a little bit of bass guitar, a little bit of piano, and I suppose you could say, how do they say, jack of all trades, master of none. That's how I feel. I can play a little bit of the drums, but it's mostly just for recording. When I'm in my studio, I can, just keep trying and keep, experimenting. The guitar is my main instrument, which I can say I play the guitar. I still have a lot to learn still, but yeah, electric guitar, acoustic guitar, that's my main instrument.
Bindaran has said, my kids enjoy and love your style of singing. So it's great that you inspire the children. It's amazing because, like we said before, as long as they're learning Gurbani in any form, doesn't really matter, Hannah, and connection is important. But we would love to hear some of your Kirtan now, or any of your type of music. Yes,
sure.
Any composition, I'll say.
Sure. I mean, I can sing that song if you'd like, the one we were just speaking about. Since it's about Guru Nanak Dev Ji, I know.
Guru Nanak Mahir. Oh, that will be awesome.
Since we're on the topic of it.
Yes.
Hopefully the levels are all okay. I'm sure that everyone will let us know in the comments if there's any problems. Living in this dark age can be pretty tough. Guru Nanak showed the way, so it's not so rough. Ever since he was a child, he was imbued with God. With Mardana by his side, they traveled the world. There is just nobody else who loves like my Guru. He knows my heart so well, more than I even do. Guru Nanak, you're my hero. Dhan Guru Nanak Ji, Dhan Guru Nanak Ji. तू ही निरंकार बाबा, तू ही निरंकार. धन बाबा नानक, तू ही निरंकार. Guru Nanak spread the light, the truth of Waheguru. For we must remember the divine inside me and you. He taught us to make sure to share and work hard at what we do. Nobody's high or low, be fair and live in love and truth. I will spend my whole life singing the praises of you. You've saved so many souls, please won't you save me too? Guru Nanak, you're my hero. Dhan Guru Nanak Ji, Dhan Guru Nanak Ji. तू ही निरंकार बाबा, तू ही निरंकार. धन बाबा नानक, तू ही निरंकार. तू ही निरंकार बाबा, तू ही निरंकार. धन बाबा नानक, तू ही निरंकार.
That was so soulful. I didn't want it to stop. And we have a couple of comments as well, just about it's nice and so mesmerizing, and it was indeed.
Thank you.
I didn't feel like Panji. It seemed like a very a studio type of like it was pre-recorded, like you were naturally singing. So it's really
thank you.
Yeah. So
I haven't had much of a warm up, but
Yeah, I know like people who do singing, they do have to take care a lot about, their voice and what they're eating, what they're drinking. Do you please tell us something about that? How do you look after your voice and everything?
Yes, I try to. It's everyone likes to, eat nice foods, and but I try my best to avoid obviously cold things as much as possible.
Mm,
Things like, ice cream, cold drinks, especially in the summertime, it's hard to sometimes resist when it's hot outside. But I do my best to try and drink herbal teas, drink warm
mm,
drinks, try not to drink water that's too cold, have it at either room temperature or slightly warm. Um, because obviously, if you have too many oily foods, or sometimes saucy foods, it can affect your throat. So, especially before Kirtan programs or events, anywhere where I'm singing or studio sessions, I definitely, for at least even sometimes a few days before, I won't have anything like that. I often don't even have much to eat actually before I sing, because I don't want to coat the throat with anything bad. So I usually just stick to hot
yeah.
drinks and teas.
No, I remember once when very renowned Kirtaniya, they came to our place and they didn't eat anything, even from like any spicy food. And I remember
Mm.
they said like bring 1 cup of milk and put like 2 spoons of kyo in that desi ghee. Like I was like,
Mhm.
okay, I think that's how they keep, keep it running as well.
Yes,
So there's a lot of care definitely needed.
definitely.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask, like, when you two, so say not kirtan but divine singing, when you just visit so many places, I'm sure you must be coming around non-Sikh population as well. And how are you received? And do they ask you what message, like from your singings, when they talk about you? Please, maybe, what sort of conversations lead into that?
Yes, it's pretty cool that music transcends religion, um, culture, all different sort of parts of life. Everyone can enjoy it regardless of what religion or faith they may follow, what spiritual path they may follow, whatever culture they're from. And I think that's one cool thing about, fusing the Western style and the Indian style together, is that it makes it accessible to, I suppose, a wider range of people who may not have heard Kirtan before, or who may not know much about Sikhi or about the message of Guru Nanak. And so it's a way to open that up for other people to enjoy it, for other people to learn. And it's been really nice to meet different people from different backgrounds who have heard the music and who felt something from it, who maybe either listened to the songs and learned something about the Guru's message, who learned something about what we've been taught. Like for instance, in this song, we speak about Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and what Guru Nanak Dev Ji shared with us, the way to live. Um, and even with Kirtan as well, um, that they may not have understood the words, but they felt the feeling in the music. They felt the feeling in the singing. So it's been really cool. I know that I've had some friends who've listened to the English songs, and they've actually showed their children in America, in different places, who are brought up in English families, in a Western background, not an Indian background, but they enjoy the songs. They think that they're cool and they enjoy listening to them, and they'll be singing things like the Guru songs, and they're not from an Indian background, they're not from a Sikh background, but they just enjoy the music. So I think that it's really great that music can and has the power to connect with people regardless of where you're from, what background you have, or whatever faith or spiritual path you follow. And that's the beauty of it.
Yes, I think I totally agree with you. It's absolutely amazing because even though you're talking about Guru Nanak Dev Ji in the form of your divine, and the invention that you come up with, how you speak about Guru Nanak Dev Ji is absolutely amazing. And even my children love the music. So as long as they're connecting to Guru Sahib, I think it's amazing. Did you create any new ones for the Gurpurab that's going to come up for next weekend?
There's not a new song. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that we will release a Shabad hopefully soon for Gurpurab. Because this song, it was just so beautiful. I just wanted to put that out there again and share that with everybody, because I really love the song. I think it's I mean, I love it, and I hope that other people would love it as well. But hopefully there will be a Shabad coming soon. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So
in time.
this week, will you be doing anything special for the audience on social media, because you are huge on social media?
I'll be trying to go live. This week's a bit of a busy week for me. Unfortunately, we had a loss in the family, which I spoke with you about, Benji. So it's been a little bit of a difficult time, a little bit of a sad time, but I'm trying my best to keep going with the Gurpurab recordings and the preparations as well. So I have to, obviously, I have the responsibilities here, and also
it's hard.
Be with the family and things as well.
It's very hard, but like in these times especially, but I believe as well that Gurbani will keep you strong and give you the strength with the family as well.
For sure, yes. That's why I haven't, completely just said, okay, I'm not going to do anything. I've still been working on the recordings and trying to balance both things as well, and working on that and to try and get that, because at the end of the day, I mean, we come and we go, but the main thing that we need to do is Naam Japna. We have to connect with God. We have to connect with Waheguru, and Guru Sahib's what keeps us strong. So the more we, do our part and do Simran and sing Kirtan, delve into Gurbani, the stronger we'll be. And that's why we're here, isn't it? To realize the real purpose, the real jewel in this life, which is Waheguru. Realize who we really are and go back to that. So definitely, even though there are tough times, even with the pandemic, it's difficult, but Gurbani, we need to definitely hold on to that.
It's amazing, Taren, how you keep yourself connected to Gurbani and the values of our religion as well, and still doing what you're doing to spread the message with the modern music techniques as well as still spreading the word of Gurbani, which is really, really great. And being so humble, that's another thing. That's very important. That's very important. Sometimes some people rise in their life and that humbleness is left behind, but it's really good to see that. Yeah. So Taren, how do you see, what are your future plans? Probably where do you see next few years or at the moment?
I mean, this year's shown us that we can have plans, but anything can change in an instant. So, just working more on more music. I have a lot of songs, a lot of English songs that are being worked on. I'm recording, I'm writing a lot. I've had a lot more time, especially this year, to really focus on writing. So definitely just focusing on that. More albums hopefully coming soon. There's a lot of different projects I'm working on, things for children, things for even maybe perhaps the older generation, our generation, and Kirtan as well. So it's a mixture of all things, a mixture of Gurbani projects, again, in a Western fusion way, and some more English projects. And when we can get back out there, then back to touring and back to finally seeing the Sangat and sitting with the Sangat and singing again.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, Taren, I know you're doing your own compositions. Do you also get others' compositions as well? They give you to sing, and what difference do you feel singing your own composition and if someone else is giving you?
Yes, pretty much 99%. I sing my own compositions. Now and again over the years, I may have sang somebody else's composition, if that's either a project and they've asked for me to sing on the project or to sing that track, such as with the IM13 ones. But generally, I write everything, and I sing I have my own base of compositions which I sing. In terms of the feeling, I think it's music is music, so it depends. I mean, there are so many beautiful compositions out there, so many different melodies and things that people have written, which are wonderful. I think I connect a lot with my compositions because they come from that inner place within me. So I think I have a little bit more of a personal connection to them, for whatever reason it is. But yeah, I mean, it just depends. If it's a lovely composition, then you automatically connect with it, don't you? So.
Yes, totally agree with you again. Also, what is the best advice you would give a youngster who wants to start this type of career as well? Like from what journey you've come onto, what advice would you give somebody else?
That's a good question too. I think if it's something that you love, then definitely go for it. There will be challenges, there will be hurdles, there will be, walls that you have to break down. But if it's something that you really enjoy and you really love and you feel it in your heart, you feel that passion, as we spoke about earlier, then definitely go for it. I mean, I've faced my challenges in doing this. One being that I'm a woman. It's less common to see a female doing kirtan and singing, spiritual music to as an Indian, as a Sikh girl, going out and focusing on music as a full-time profession. And that has been met with, I've faced my hurdles and I've faced my challenges, and I'm sure I will continue to, because as we know, often women aren't necessarily accepted. They're not necessarily supported as much, and especially being in a male-dominated field, which I would say is probably 95% or even more male-dominated, be it the Kirtan field, even the overall music field. Even if you look at Western music, it actually is very male-dominated. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be things that you have to push against and keep going and not give up. That's the main thing. Don't give up. Don't let things like your gender or your what faith you follow, anything like that, don't let that be something that deters you. Instead, keep going. And yeah, definitely, just especially to any girls out there who are interested in this. I know, like I said, it's not the stereotypical or traditional, perhaps, career pursuit for an Indian or Punjabi or a Sikh girl to go into music or kirtan. But if it's something you love, do it, because we need more girls out there. We need more women inspiring the next generations and teaching about Gurbani and Sikhi and about God and spirituality and life, to the next generation. So yeah, go for it, and just keep going. Just have faith in Guru Sahib. That's all I can say, is just do ardas and leave it to Guruji.
Or maybe you could start teaching children, especially girls. Maybe you could really do something like this. And if you want to, experiment with my kids, we're ready. We've got the guitar. We just don't have that encore, your style. So I think maybe, that might be a route for you. Start teaching, and then, especially for girls, because like you said, it's an area where you do normally see Gyanis or boys, because they're quite courageous. They come forward and they're boisterous, where the girls are a bit more precious and they stay behind.
Yeah.
But really, they should be pushed forward as well, because Guru Nanak Dev Ji and equality. The message is one. So yeah, but I have loads of questions, but one more random question first.
Okay.
So I followed you for a number of years on social media now, and I've seen how you've grown popularity internationally as well. You're in USA, you're in Canada, you're in Asia, you're everywhere. So what's the experience been like when you're out there in abroad? Is it the same as here, or is it very different there?
Experience in Sangat, experience of music. Is anything specifically, or just overall?
Gender.
Okay, gender. I think it's similar everywhere. I think I've seen a lot of young girls, which has been really, really nice. I've seen a lot of children, young girls, young boys, wanting to learn kirtan, and it's been actually really nice to see the youth. Whenever I've been out to Canada, for instance, the youth have come out, and it's been so incredible to meet them. And I've gotten to see young children doing kirtan, learning, and I know in Asia there was a huge amount of youth who really enjoy kirtan and connect with kirtan. And in Indonesia, actually, there was a group of youth from in Jakarta who actually prepared a shabad, and there was about 30-40 children from really young ages to older, and I think that was actually very female dominated. It was mostly young girls, and it was incredible to see that, and that they love kirtan, they love gurbani, they want to sing, they want to learn, they want to share that and spread that and go forward. And I've had lots of children and youth come up to me and say, I'd love to do that, I love to do what you do, and to be able to share that with the world. So it's really inspiring for me to see that, and it makes me so happy when I meet the children and youth, and I know that hopefully I'm doing something good and something that will hopefully motivate them to carry it on and take it up. So yeah, I think it's pretty incredible.
Amazing, Taren. And I think a lot of keywords that we have picked up today is and one prominent one is definitely passion that has come out. And we have seen that be it music, be it art, or even be it any social work, without passion, it's really hard to walk. And when your passion becomes, your life, it's really even much more when you want to do something and that really interests you, and your values, everything combines together. It's incredible, and that's you are such an, I'll say, icon for us and for the
Right.
new generations. And yes, lots of blessings from us, from the Sangat as well. And we look forward to more and more albums and the kind of singing that you are doing. We hope many people are, of course, the young generation gets inspired. And this is really unique. Singing kirtan is one thing, but of course there are many platforms where you can't sing, like as when there are audience, in a kind of audience, depending upon what kind of setup we have.
Mm-hmm.
But of course there is divine music, and you can
Yeah.
still spread the message, and connecting that is something really unique, and we need that as well. So definitely, we hope a lot of youth, I'm sure they follow you, and even kids, they're following you. So we definitely need more and more of those. Any message you would like to give to our youth, especially who, I know guitar is very popular these days, and people love that music, and anyone other instruments as well. Any specific tips or any message you would like to give to someone who would like to follow that kind of journey and music as well, and even songwriting as well?
Um, I have had sometimes people come to me and say, "Well, I play the keyboard. How can I do kirtan?" Or I play the violin or the flute or whatever instrument it is, and they say, "Can I still do kirtan?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes, definitely, of course. It's amazing the fact that you play this instrument. It's not an easy thing to learn an instrument. Sometimes some instruments are very difficult. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment. And if it's something that you're already playing, then great. Combine it with Gurbani, combine it with, like you said, divine songs. Do what you can to spread that message. And if it's something you enjoy and it's something you love and you want to carry that forward, then definitely, please do it. There's no, I always say I don't think there's a restriction on what instruments you can use. Of course, traditional instruments are wonderful in their own way. I love listening to traditional instruments, traditional classical instruments, traditional kirtan. I love that. I've grown up listening to that. It's not saying something is better or worse than the other. There's none of that here. The main thing that we need to focus on is the Gurbani. Like Benji said, if you're connecting to Gurbani, if you're connecting to your Guru, what more can you want? If you're learning about Sikhi, you're learning about the teachings, and you feel it in your heart, and it gives you that peace, and it gives you that anand and that bliss and that connection. What else is there?
Definitely.
So whether you're using a guitar, whether you're using a keyboard, whether you're using a vajja, whether you're using a durba, whatever it is that you're using, a tabla, whatever you enjoy, whatever you feel passionate about and connects with you, resonates with you, go with that and do it. Just follow
Yeah.
your passion and follow your connection and enjoy it. And if you want to share, if you feel comfortable enough to share it, definitely do, because lots of people, I'm sure, will be inspired to hear you and love to hear you and support you.
Yeah, very rightly said, Taren. Anand, bliss, and love is the key to anything, and that's what is the purpose of life as well. So I hope our audience is really enlightened with the conversation today. We had so many comments, more of those. Govinda Singh said, one of my favorite is Aise Gurko Balbal Jaiye. And we really had some long comments and a number of comments from Inderpal Singh as well. And he's mentioning, seriously, Taranji, you really need to give a thoughts on teaching the young generation. Probably yes, she will at some later
At some
stage.
point, for sure.
At
For
some
sure.
point,
Yes.
with experience, you definitely at one stage become, that's the next step you
Yeah.
can definitely follow. And it does need concentration. You just have to take some baby steps, and
Yes.
especially the girls to come forward and learn to be more confident and learn Kirtan too. Hats off to your courage, proving yourself in such a male-dominating society. So thank you so much, Inderpal Singh ji, and everyone else who actually listened to our conversation today, and for leaving and appreciating the talk and the work that Taren is doing. So thank you so much, Taren. It was really, really great and having
Thank
you on
you.
our show. And best of luck from our side for your future projects.
Thank
And we look
you.
forward meeting you once again, probably in coming episodes, and talking about probably different topics and one of your future projects as well.
Sure.
Um, thank you. Ranjit Panji, do you have any last comments to say?
Yes, Taren, where can people find you that don't know about you?
I think I'm on all social media platforms. So Facebook, it's facebook.com/Taren Kaur UK. That's TAREN. Same with Instagram at Taren Kaur UK. I think there's Twitter, there's YouTube, Taren Kaur UK again on there. So everywhere you can find me, you know which one I am. I've got the UK behind my name. And yeah, for sure, please do come and connect. Please do come and connect on Instagram, on Facebook. I always love to connect with them. I try my best to reply to as many comments, messages that I get. Sometimes I do miss some. I apologize for anyone's message that I have missed. I should say that, but I try my best to try and read that. I try not to go too deeply into social media and get consumed by it. Especially in this year, I've kind of detached a little bit from it and have focused more on the music, and more on the Kirtan, focusing on that rather than getting into the rabbit hole of social media. But definitely, I'm always posting and things on there. So
awesome. And those who would like to support Taren's work as well, she has got a website, Taren. I'm just going to check, tarenkaur.com. And there are some albums that you can buy as well. So if you really love the music, if you think that she's inspiring, we also need to support her work. So please buy original music. Please support the albums she's doing. Don't just download that. Please buy it. So thank you so much once again, Taren. And with ending this show today here, and I'll just like to play one of the videos of Taren. So thank you, Taren, and thank you, Ranjit Benji. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
I just wanna be me, I just wanna be free from the hate we see. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've seen people smile. Seems like more and more people crying. Wanna feel like we're home, wherever we may roam. Wanna live in harmony, just how it's supposed to be. United we stand, divided we fall. Who are we to say who's good or small? Whatever happened to all for one and one for all? I'm hearing go back to your home, but what if this is all we know? Isn't home where the heart is? Segregating people up, you know enough is enough. The time has come to be one. We bleed the same blood, no matter who we are above. Why can't we all see deeper than just visually? United we stand, divided we fall. Who are we to say who's good or small? Whatever happened to all for one and one for all? Let's love each other for our hearts instead of breaking all apart over what each other look like. It's time to take the higher ground if we want peace all around and accept one another. United we stand, divided we fall. Who are we to say who's good or small? Whatever happened to all for one and one for all? United we stand, divided we fall. Who are we to say who's good or small? Whatever happened to all for one and one for all?